Lord Winston, formerly Commander Fletcher, Royal Navy, has this to say about the grave menace of the U-boat.
Nobody should imagine for a moment that because the figures of sinkings of our merchant ships are not published, that they are not very heavy. The government does not publish the figures because it considers that to do so would give information to the enemy of value to him. But I can assure you that the sinkings are very serious indeed. The people of England can help to defeat the U-boat by practicing the most rigid economy with everything that has to be imported into our country, and also by treating with the utmost seriousness all the orders and requests which are addressed to them by the Ministry of Food, by the Minister of Agriculture, and in connection with salvage.
The British shipbuilding industry has made great efforts to cope with the situation. Before the war, we had under construction almost a third of the total world tonnage being built. Since the war, while America's effort has been spectacular, we too have been going all out to replace sunk ships. Here, where shipyards have grown up along the rivers near coal mines, it isn't practicable to attempt the Henry Kaiser prefabrication method. His shipyards are really assembly yards. In ours, the slips are so closely arranged that there's no space for large-scale layout planning. All the same, the time between the levelling of the building blocks and the launching of a British vessel has been reduced to the minimum. And wherever prefabrication is possible, it has been adopted, as for example in the construction of keel sections. The keel, and one like this can be laid in 3 hours, is the backbone of the ship. To it are fastened the floors. Like ribs, they're joined onto the spine, and from them other ribs or frames grow to form the sides of the hull. Onto the floors, plates are attached to form a double bottom. Gradually, though by no means slowly, the vessel takes shape, more plates building up the skin of the ship. These may be as much as 40 feet long by 10 feet wide by 3/4 of an inch thick. Cranes hang the plates, which are bolted into position before being riveted. And talking of rivets, there are as many as 500,000 in a 10,000-ton cargo ship. Whether riveting is done by hand or machine, the function of the rivets is to hold together against every stress and storm something like 14,000 individual plates and angle bars. This particular riveting squad comprises George Peake, 16, the rivet heater, Georgina Haywood, 17, the rivet catcher. The holder-up is John Willis, and there are 2 more Georges, George Askew and George Gillespie, all skilled workers doing a first-class job. Incidentally, there are many women in the shipbuilding industry, welding being one more contribution made by them towards the winning of the war. The crankshaft. Bob Stolwell, a crankshaft turner, has been 30 years with the firm. And here, truing up the crankshaft, are Jack Robinson and Morrison Long, both wartime workers who know their job. The engine, a diesel unit which is first tested and then taken down for installation in the ship. Jack Adey, foreman at the gauge board and control. There's a new demand for faster cargo vessels, and it's obvious, of course, that speed adds to safety, but speed alone isn't necessarily the complete answer. Britain, at any rate, has increased her building speed. Before the war, a 10,000-tonner might take about 40 weeks to construct. Now it can be done in about half that time. We cannot mass produce, but we can produce fast, and doubtless we shall improve upon design. Britain's output per man in the shipbuilding industry is the highest in the world. Yet magnificent as this achievement is, it isn't the whole answer to the U-boat menace. The best answer to the U-boat menace is the destruction of U-boats by plane and ship. Here are authentic pictures of a German U-boat at work from a film we captured. Anti-submarine devices have improved and increased, but so have submarines. And the Allies can never have too many escort ships to hunt them and destroy them. At present, we have nothing like enough. At the first sign of danger, the U-boat crash dives, and only too often there aren't enough attackers to ensure her destruction. We attack with depth charges. Now for the explosion. She is shaken and lights go out. Minor damage may be done, but she escapes. Later, she returns to continue her efforts at starving the Allies of food and munitions and ships. Sinkings continue at a very serious rate. The U-boat campaign, certain to be intensified, is Hitler's greatest hope of staving off defeat. He has hundreds of U-boats at sea now. He'll undoubtedly have more. The answer is to destroy them. Meanwhile, we owe a debt that can never be paid to the merchant navy. We believe the vast majority of the people of this country realize what they owe to our seamen and are fully prepared to help in any way they can by going without. And heaven knows, we are sure have gone without little enough so far. Here's the kind of thing that's happening at sea, time and time again.
Well, Arch, here's luck. I hear you got it again last trip.
Yes, 4 days out, we bumped it. Propeller 9, 14 days in the raft, until we got picked up. We got down to a half a biscuit a day and about 3 ounces of water. There's no fun in that.
No, that's not much fun. That's the 5th time you've been torpedoed, isn't it?
Yes. You might think I've got used to it, but I damn well haven't. Something will have to be done about that, and pretty sharp too.
What's your next move?
Oh, just drifting around, waiting for a ship.
Torpedoed again and again, and waiting for a ship. Well, he'll get a ship, and he'll sail in another convoy. But it's wise to remember when the papers are full of good news, that there is bad news as well as good.